and welcome to the very consistent nature of us not changing the date of our TTRPG news.
Maybe they won't notice.
This has become a normal segment for TTRPG news and will be expected in the future.
The weekly update by Weston of the date. Today is Monday, April 11th.
Yes, April 11th. Okay, so our first big announcement this week was made by the Blade Runner TTRPG. They released the first full page of previews for their upcoming game. It's being developed by Free League, and this is officially licensed Blade Runner game. It is set between the events of the original film starring Harrison Ford and the sequel, Blade Runner 2049. According to the news release, the story begins shortly after the Wallace Corporation debuts the new Nexus 9 replicants on Earth, giving players a choice to play either as a human or replicant Blade Runners with different specialties, personalities, and memories. If you are interested in looking at it, you can go to cbr.com/Blade Runner RPG, or just look up Blade Runner RPG. You'll find it.
Yeah, you can find it. It's all over the place.
I'm realizing that the website is kind of complicated, so
yep,
it's a lot of dashes and
just
stuff in there.
Go you Googleize it.
Go you Googleize it. Anyway, so that is available right now. Did it have any kind of indication of like a release date of the full game?
We don't have the exact release date yet, or what the cost will be. From what I understand, let me just check real quick and see if. No, I don't see anything as far as when it will be released. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. And I shot my shot tonight with Matt Mercer, saying that you should come hang out with us tonight.
Oh, jeez.
And talk about homebrew.
Blade Runner's not the only one that is releasing their previews today or this week. Marvel has released a first preview for its upcoming TTRPG. It's a multi-page preview. It shows us some of the core game mechanics as well as the character sheet and skill progression for Spider-Man. So you want to go see what his stats would be, go check him out. They do this interesting. It's a 3d6 system. So they call it a 3 standard 6-sided. You roll 3 standard 6-sided dice, one of which is the Marvel die. If you get a 1 on the Marvel die, you get fantastic results and something amazing happens. So there's different combinations that you can roll that are the equivalent of a nat 20. Honestly, I don't think they thought that 1 out of 5% chance or 1 out of 20 was enough of crits. So if you're a superhero, you need to do amazing things all the time. So they've got a multitude of ways. If you roll a 6, a 1, and a 6, then an ultimate fantastic roll, which is even better. Combine that with our rules for edges and troubles, which offer dice rerolls. You wind up with a lot of ways to make incredible things happen during the game, maximizing the fun. Is according to Matt Forbeck, one of the lead designers. So if you want to go check those out, just search for Marvel. You can see again Spider-Man, his stats. They kind of use a skill tree method, so a bit more MMO RPG style on that than D&D or Pathfinder use. But go check it out.
Yeah, very cool. All right, Paizo, it was in the news this week a couple of times. Paizo is releasing premium material found on Pathfinder 2nd Edition onto the virtual tabletop forum for, what is it? You didn't write it down.
Foundry.
There we go.
Oh, that wasn't part of the text that
I
it
wasn't? Took
from the story. No.
The first of these will be the contents found in the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Beginner's Box on April 16th. Is that the news though? Is the Foundry thing?
Yep.
Okay, so the big news is that Pathfinder is officially partnering with Foundry, which is a VTT, a virtual tabletop, and they are going to be putting all of their Pathfinder 2nd Edition information on it preloaded so that you can build your characters in the system. They already had a lot of information preloaded. Now it's going to be like everything. They're slowly going to be moving it all onto Foundry.
A lot of what's on Foundry are made by players.
Yeah.
This is official content. We don't yet know how this is going to work. Is it going to cost? Is it going to be like, what's the pricing going to be like for it? We don't know how that works. Honestly, what I think this is, I think they're going to use this as a dry run for their Nexus stuff that they have set up, because they can get it all set up here for Foundry, get people playing it. Then when they release Pathfinder Nexus in a year or so, then they've already got all the content ready to go for the online system like that. So I bet that's the reason why they're doing this. It's a chance to trial run everything before it would come out in that system. So
and just for those who may not know, Pathfinder has partnered with a company called Nexus, who created D&D Beyond. So all the executive board of Nexus it's the demi-plane guys, and they've created Nexus, which is going to be a Pathfinder version of D&D Beyond, including a VTT and Discord like meeting capabilities.
They're also actually demi-plane's doing it for both Pathfinder with Paizo and also World of Darkness with Vampire the Masquerade. So they're trying to get their the fingers everywhere there. So
getting the fingers in
hopefully it'll come out good.
Yep.
Now, in a little nostalgia story for anyone who's been in D&D for a long time and might remember Dungeon Master from the 1983 classic D&D cartoon,
which I did not know existed until Halloween, at which point I was making fun of a costume that was Dungeon Master, and I didn't realize.
Oh, you made fun of it? Oh.
I didn't realize that was where it came from. I was corrected very fast.
Haley almost got blacklisted in the community.
I did, because I didn't know the show.
But for the 100th champion being released on Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, Wizards of the Coast is giving a nod to their older fans and giving you the chance to choose Dungeon Master as your champion. So if you are old enough to remember the cartoon, which I'll be honest, I wasn't born yet, you get to have some nostalgia and enjoy playing Dungeon Master as your champion.
You were born
1983. I was born in 84.
Oh, that's true. Never mind. All right. And in our last bit of news, on Dungeons & Dragons YouTube channel, Jeremy Crawford, one of the game developers for D&D 5e, says that you can expect more new game mechanics that will utilize your hit dice. In much the same way that Tasha's Cauldron of Everything utilized proficiency bonuses in multiple mechanics and abilities, the developers feel that you can do more with your hit dice than is currently being done. You can see the entire video on D&D's YouTube channel, and it's titled Feat Stacking Backgrounds and Hit Dice, which is good because hit dice kind of felt superfluous.
Yeah, well, you used it when you did a short rest. But apparently they're doing some more things. There's going to be some in the Kryn, sorry, the Dragonlance setting. There's going to be some mechanics in there, and then they've planned for their upcoming books quite a few different ways to apparently utilize hit dice. Their thoughts are, don't introduce more mechanics, just find more ways people can use the same mechanics, apparently.
Makes sense.
Is it a question of keeping it simple or lazy game makers? Who knows? You be the judge. Do it in the comments.
I don't think it's lazy game making. I think it's people utilizing what's already there and being creative and being like, hey, we could do something else with this besides just blah, blah, blah.
And it doesn't make you expand your character sheet anymore.
No, it doesn't, which is nice.
Which I gotta admit, I played a little Cyberpunk recently, and that character sheet and skill list is redonkulous. Like, it was hard. We were having such a hard time finding what to add to our role. It was, I think the system's awesome, but that was one thing that was like, can we like shrink this a little bit? Please?
Little bit. And I do wanted to include this week in our community announcements. I do have an announcement that I can put in here, but I just realized that the person's YouTube channel that they sent me is not in here, so I don't know what the YouTube channel is for it. So we will get back to this individual with their announcements. But if you have any community announcements, a bit like a community board, if you just want to get a little bit more light shined on it, if you have a new Kickstarter, show starting, homebrewed campaign, homebrewed anything, whatever, if you just want kind of a shout out on what you're currently working on and is ready to release, please let us know. It does need to be fully completed with a release date or currently already released. Nothing that is in production at the moment with no definitive release date. So please just shoot us a message, get to us some one way, somehow, whatever.
Somewhere.
I'm going to break into song. You can find us on Twitter at Party of Two RPG Live. You can whisper us here. You can shoot us an email at partyoftworpg@gmail.com. You can contact me personally on my Twitter, which is HayleyM_Bell. You can find me on TikTok. You can find us pretty much everywhere. So there you go.
There we go.
Get a hold of me and let me know what you want us to spotlight. But that is going to be it for today's episode of TTRPG News.
On Monday, April 11th.